Oh my god, guys! 89 views in 5 days. What? That's the most viewed video on this whole channel. I'm sorry, I'm getting a cold or something. I'm a little congested, but 89 views? That's over double what my first video has. I am so happy. That people are just watching my content. Oh my god. I guess I'll do it again. Here we are back again at r/Entitledparents. Buckle up and get ready for the ride, because these people crazy. EM wants me to lie about witnessing sexual harassment to protect her son. So I teach 8th grade, and a few months ago, I had a female student come up to me in private and tell me that a male student in her class was sexually harassing her. She shows me text messages that he has sent her detailing highly graphic sexual things he said to her, he wants to do to her, and tells me some of the things he's said to her when they're in the halls. She tells me that she has asked him to stop repeatedly, but he's still doing it. And she wants me to help keep him away from her in my class. So, before I file a report to have guidance and admin investigate the issue, I spend a class period keeping a close eye on the two of them to see if I can confirm or deny anything she's saying. Once I'm looking for it, I observe the male student doing things like licking his lips at her from the other side of the room, hovering around her and finding reasons to walk past her desk. I personally overhear him make a sexual comment about her to another student. Based on what I've seen, I go ahead with referring the boy to admin for sexual harassment and make contact with parents of both students to inform them that the issue will be investigated by the school and possible disciplinary action will be taken. I don't make direct contact with the boy's mother, but I leave her a voicemail and ask that she call me back. The next day, I'm in my planning period, and I get a call from the office saying there's a parent there for a meeting. Now, our policy is that must be scheduled in advance and logged with the office. I don't have any meetings scheduled today, but I have time, so I decide to go and see what's up. It turns out to be the male student's mother in the office. She very nicely asks if we can talk face-to-face about what's going on, and for some dumb reason, I agree. Even though usually we like to have another teacher or staff member present for meetings. Hold on. All right. There. So, we go in a conference room. I go over the legends, avoiding names. I tell her that a female student has accused her son of sexual harassment, and I saw enough evidence in class to refer it to the office for investigation. Yeah. Now, what exactly did you hear? Because I know my son. He would never harass a girl. He might say something stupid that got taken the wrong way, but that's just not who he is. So, what exactly did you hear him say? I want to know what this girl is saying about him. I saw him licking his lips at her and overheard him saying to another boy that he wanted to ride that buttocks all night. What do you mean, licking his lips? He gets chapped lips. He might not be doing it to harass some girl. She can't just say things about him and try to ruin his life. I know my son, and he is not that kind of person, no matter what some girl says. Well, admin and guidance are going to investigate, and based on what they find, they'll be in touch with you. So wait, what did you tell them? You can't just go and say, boy's name is harassing girls based on what one person says. He's already been suspended twice, and now you're going to get him expelled just because some girl wants to get him in trouble for no reason? Now I'm thinking, why did I do this? Mom is getting worked up. I have no one else there, and my next class starts soon. I repeat that I just reported the things the girl said and the things I saw, and that it'll be investigated. I reiterate that I'm not the one making any final decision, and if she has an issue, she needs to talk to the principal. EM. Well, principal hates son's name. Let's call him Johnny. Well, principal hates Johnny. She's not going to listen. You need to go and tell them that this is all nonsense. You saw him licking his lips because they were chapped. I'm not going to have all this harassment bull. Me. Again, if you have an issue, I'm not the one to talk to. I just reported what I saw. They'll look into it. EM. But you didn't see anything, and you need to tell them that. I'm telling you, I know my son, and you've got this all wrong. If he gets expelled because you don't know what you saw, it's going to be your fault. I eventually talk her down enough to get her to leave. I report to admin that parent is hostile about the accusations and go about my day. They end up investigating and finding hard evidence that he was actually sexually harassing 3 different girls. Boy got expelled! Yeet. That was much shorter than our last one. Let's see. Let's see, top past 24 hours. Oh, that was it. All right, let's do this one. Entitled parent thinks her child's entertainment is more important than my work. So, I'm a college student in the upper Midwest, and you all probably know we got hit pretty bad by the polar vortex recently. This led to us missing an entire week of classes and falling behind pretty far on course content. Luckily, a couple of my professors were smart enough to post some recorded lectures up on our college's network, so we could listen to them on our own time. This is important because I decided to knock a few hours of this out at my local cafe, as classes were going to resume in 2 days, and just listening to them at home sounded really dull. Might as well chow down on a chocolate croissant while you're being forced to listen to your professor ramble on about Western literature, you know? So I'm listening to these boring AF lectures on my phone and typing up an essay on my laptop. Then all of a sudden, a boy from the table to my left starts shaking his table. I'm a drama-loving bee, so I take out one of my headphones to hear this conversation. Mom, the battery is dead. The mother sighs almost exaggeratedly loud and grabs a phone, I'm assuming hers, from this little kid's hand. She says something lowly to her kid that I can't quite hear, but whatever it was, her kid was having precisely none of it. He starts to throw a full-scale tantrum and is crying quite loudly. Instead of doing the responsible thing and taking her kid outside for a talking to, she scans the cafe briefly before her eyes land on me. I get embarrassed for a moment. I assume that she had caught me eavesdropping and on her mommy drama. I turn my eyes away and desperately hope she's not going to call me on it. Excuse me? Well, shoot. I'm trying to think of an apology that I can give her without revealing that I don't really care. She interrupts me before I can. Would you mind letting my son play on your phone while I finish up my lunch? That wasn't what I was expecting, and it took me aback. I shake my head. No, sorry, I say. I'm really busy right now. She decides to pull the most bishy of all mom phrases. Sweetheart, you've never been busy until you've had a kid. She sneers, passive aggression leaking from her tone. It'll only take a few minutes. Sorry, no. I was not about to put myself behind for any amount of time for someone else's hell child. She glares at me but doesn't say anything else. She grabs her still screaming child and leaves the cafe in a huff. I know this isn't as bad as some of the other stories on this sub, but it still really surprised me that parents like this are an actual thing. I'm just hoping that I never run into her again. Yeah, I agree. And let's do this one. Or wait. Alright, how long is it? Alright, it's not that long. I can do this. I knew this girl, Brittany. We went to the same elementary, middle, and high school. I didn't have a problem with her, but with her mom. Her mom, Brenda, actual name, was a asshat. She was an asshat. A butt face. She was a butt face. She was living through her daughter. She pushed her daughter to keep perfect grades, friends, etc. She is the type of woman who refuses to let her daughter have any friends that get below a B average in school. I have 3 entitled stories with this woman. Story 1. I was in 4th grade when this happened. I was still trying to make friends with the girls, so for my birthday, I sent everyone an invitation. The plan was to meet at my place, 4 p.m., go bowling, and a sleepover. I was so excited. I waited and waited and waited. 7 p.m. rolls around. No one shows up. We give them another hour and still no one. So my mom gets us furious. Not because no one showed up, but because, 2, no one called to tell her. So she starts making phone calls, and the yelling ensues. Come to find out that Brenda made up some BS story about how my family lived in a trailer park, which I don't, and none of the parents wanted to drop their kids off at a trailer home. When Mom finally calls Brenda to chew her out, she finds out that Brenda did this because she didn't want her daughter to hang out around some stupid, I had horrible ADD, someone stupid, because her daughter might become stupid as well. Next day was awesome, though. Mom let me call my male friends, all 4 of them, took us laser tagging, indoor go-karting, and bought us dinner at my favorite restaurant, Don Pablo's. Story 2 takes place during 5th grade. My family was involved in multiple small musicals, Annie, Fiddler on the Roof, etc. Mom and I both sang and danced as background characters while Dad was in the pit playing his trumpet. Brenda was always there in every musical we were in and insisted that Brittany be whatever lead role is in that age group. Complained that costumes didn't flatter her daughter, room was too hot, etc. The one that I remember the most is when she backed down to the pit and told my dad that the musicians were too loud and he needed to be more quiet as they might hurt my daughter's ears. So he purposely would play super loud on his trumpet while Brenda would walk by or speak to anyone playing in the pit. Story 3. Now this is the saddest one. Brenda had a younger child named Kent. Kent was such a good kid. He was about 2 or 3 years younger than us. She constantly bullied him to be what she wanted him to be, but unlike his sister, he was more strong-willed and never let her. So she acted like he wasn't there. I didn't know him as well. My boyfriend, now fiancé. I didn't know him as well as my boyfriend, now fiancé. I interacted with him mostly during band class. The way his eyes lit up when you asked him anything about percussion could brighten up the room, but Brenda didn't think so. She was mad and constantly compared him to his sister, never introduced her son in gatherings as hers. It got so bad that not long after my boyfriend took him to a rock concert when they were both in college, that we heard the news. Kent died by his own hands. It's been so long now that I can't remember if it was by OD or hanging, but I remember the funeral very well. I went to pay my respects to him and his sister because, frick his parents, when I overheard Brenda softly speaking to her husband on how she was surprised this didn't happen sooner. I was so mad that I laid a drumstick, no not food, into his coffin and left telling the funeral workers to please not remove the drumstick but hide them deeper in the coffin. The drumsticks, but hide them deeper into the coffin if necessary, as it was a gift from the former high school band kids who couldn't be there. I don't know if they honored our wishes as I had left raging mad. Frick you, Brenda. Frick you. Wow. Brenda's a bad bee. Brenda's a horrible, horrible woman. Don't be Brenda. Brenda sucks. I don't think we have time for any more today, but I'd be glad to make more if you'd like to see more, and please let me know if you want to keep doing Entitled Parents or any other subreddits you'd like to hear, and I promise once this cold or whatever it is passes, I'll be up and on. I cannot wait to make more content for all of you, and I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic day whenever you're watching this and whenever you can. I guess that's it for now, so bye!